Let's talk.
There's breaking news, Woolie.
Breaking news.
Street Fighter 6 has received 6 emails.
It it has. There are 6 notifications that have yet to be clicked. All right, Street Fighter 6 has been announced. There's a lot of places we can go. So I guess taking it from the top down. Yeah, that is
Hold
a.
on, look. Before we go into Street Fighter 6, I need to bring something to your attention that was sent to me in the last few moments on this podcast. I just need you to look at it with your eyeball.
Oh. Wait. No. Really? Wait, when was this uploaded? No, this might not be. This might have been done quickly last night. Hold on.
Yeah, we got tagged in the tweet of the Street Fighter 6 logo being of $80 purchase off the Adobe stock image website.
Okay, on the stock image website, there's an exact Street Fighter the SF logo, and like it looked. I was gonna say it looks like the S you draw on your desk in class.
A little bit.
But I need to see the date that this thing was uploaded because there's no way. There's no fucking way.
Well, let's see. The tweet was 2:46 p.m.
No,
today.
but no. The upload of this particular file. This could be fake news. This can be fake news. This might have been done last night, real quickly, by someone real cheeky.
There's about an 8-hour. There's about an 8-hour
turnaround
possible. Buffer period.
No, someone might have done this in that period of time.
Oh my god!
I really
oh
hope
man,
that's
if
what
you type in how to become a graphic, if you type in Street Fighter 6 hexagon logo, you'll find like thousands of the logos that are like very similar that are like years old.
That's embarrassing. Oh Jesus Christ! Okay,
I'm on the page.
All right,
when I'm on it.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about the logo, right? Here's the thing about the logo. Street Fighter 6 was announced, and if we're starting from the top, then we'll talk about the logo. I am someone who is usually pretty open for, graphic design changes and implementations and such. I like, clean typography when it's
I like minimalism
when it's an aesthetic that is like nicely handled, especially when you have a legacy of like loud burning text. It can be interesting to create a different tone. It can be interesting. That being said, the moment I saw this, right, the moment I saw the hexagon in particular, I knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah. I can tell, because I'm infallible, that this hexagon is the shape that you would see that evokes a feeling of UFC.
Yeah, so this combines about 10 different things that we've heard over the past like 4 years about this game. Like just from the logo,
it evokes an MMA
probably tell
feeling.
You what SF6 is right now.
It's an MMA vibe. This hexagon would print very easily onto a belt and be the centerpiece. Right? Minus the 6 notification.
Street Fighter, check your Discord.
Damn.
I saw somebody says I can't wait for like Mortal Kombat 14. It's the fucking Gmail logo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Um, I have said that like I'm down with the acknowledgement of MMA in Street Fighter
that's
because
fine.
it's
MMA is a fighting style.
because it's kind of crazy that like for years the franchise and many other fighting games have been martial arts and like not acknowledged this very clear super popular this is what fighting is today aspect
Yeah,
of culture.
and we don't have to deal with any of the nonsense we were talking about early in the podcast because Ryu can throw a magic fireball and jump 8 feet in the air with an uppercut.
That being said, if the logo is in fact bought off of an Adobe stock, which I this is the type of story that we get baited to in seconds on the podcast and then hours later find out was not real.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun though.
Yes, but we are the only news source that is trusted.
It's okay.
We are fair and balanced. We are a news delivery podcast. People don't tune in to hear us talk about our weeks. They tune in to hear us talk about the news. Don't you know this?
Oh God, I recently.
We've got the Jon Stewart problem.
Oh yeah.
So
Just as we're man, we're trusted out here.
damn. Anyway, so yeah, that's what the energy of the logo is going for, and I'm down for an MMA vibe being what they want to do with this, but that's not a it's just not a really good looking logo.
It's going to be an MMA vibe, which is why Luke is the new poster child because he's a mixed martial artist,
which I like, and that's
I think
the way
Luke,
I feel.
Looks just as shit in the new art style, but he looks like a fucking douchebag.
I like
he has
sleeveless
the
hoodies.
same problem that Shunai has in KOF 15.
Shunai is a chuny. Shunai
Whatever.
is the kind of character that has the accessories that like make him look like the high school kid that is inventing his powers, like Chunibyo.
Oh, sure. I just mean in the sense that the new hero looks like garbage.
So all the comparisons that like have him standing next to Ninja are just like, yeah, that's what that face looks like. That's what the hair looks like.
100%.
That's the smile. I see it. I totally see it.
So I will say there is. So I mean, we break down the trailer. It's very short. Boy, was I mad that I ran a fucking 2-hour stream to see 30 seconds.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's okay. Logo. Luke. I think this
Ryu
Luke
is there also shocking.
I think this Luke is yeah, I like this Luke better than other Luke because again, I like sleeveless hoodies as a look. I think that's cool. MMA, whatever. Yeah, yay for that. Notice I'm a huge fan of like fucking Guy Tendo and that type of character. Like I've always just been down for that. Your backy types, if you would.
Yeah.
Even then, on the other side, here's unequivocally, thank fucking God, the default Ryu is now Hot Ryu.
Yep.
And Hot Ryu is now not just Hot Ryu, he's also Giga Chad.
He's wide Ryu.
He's always wide, but this is made for Giga Chad memeing specifically when that jaw drops.
It's also, I don't know what is the deal with Resident Evil engine game. Sorry, Reach for the Moon engine game.
The Chris stuff.
But like dudes in that engine go wide. Like he looks like Chris. He straight up looks like Chris.
Interesting.
And I do appreciate his new look and how fucking wide he is because he looks a lot more like Mas Oyama.
Yes.
Who is his original inspiration as like a very old Japanese martial artist from like, I want to say like the 50s or 60s or something like that.
Yes.
But
it's the so the Mas Oyama, the wide, exactly like original influencer martial artist. The wide Akiman Ryu that then gets made even wider by Ikeno, right? Yeah. Ikeno takes the Akiman stiff Ryu cues and then just buffs him up even heavier, and this is going into that, right? The beard on Hot Ryu originally was more of a 5 o'clock shadow. This one looks like it's been like chiseled,
Yeah.
you know. But like I can clearly see that when Hot Ryu dropped, they realized how much of a crazy meme that was and went, "Oh, we
Oh,
fucked
dude,
up."
it's the natural evolution of his design, which is more hobo.
Yeah. Also, shirt down. Also,
Yeah.
fucking shoes, dude. He's got slippers on.
Oh, that's true. I didn't
For
even
the
think of
first time ever, he's not barefoot.
That's crazy.
Insane. What a concept.
I saw folks saying that it was a 30-second pre-rendered trailer. No, that is absolutely Resident Evil Engine in-game
They're
assets.
showing off
That is
gameplay.
what the character looks like.
They're showing off gameplay. And so here's the
I don't
thing.
know if gameplay is the right word.
Okay,
that's
they're
not
in engine. They're showing off in
It's
engine.
in engine. That's what the
Yes.
models look like.
Okay. So there's different feelings I have about it. And like the overwhelming one is, God damn it, stop with the announcement to the announcement, but I know you'll never stop.
Terrible.
This is
Terrible.
what they do. It's what they've always done. The way Street Fighter V was revealed was in a short trailer that was all about community stuff, and then there was 3 seconds of gameplay, and then the SF5 logo. Right. This time around, it isn't nestled in a bunch of fluff, but the trailer to the trailer is just something Capcom won't stop doing. I goddamn wish they would.
What it was nestled in was a delay. So Daigo
Oh yeah.
ran
Sure.
out the clock, and the fucking the fucking timer on the countdown was supposed to drop at midnight.
Yes, but
then just suddenly it's 1 a.m.
And how fucking great is the irony of people being like, "Fuck off, Daigo, lose already, so we can get to the Street Fighter 6 announcement," when 5 is the thing that's anyway. Yeah, it's you're watching peak Street Fighter 5 being played by the OG himself, and it's like he's delaying the reveal. But anyways, so whatever, they teased the tease, and then we're gonna get more info. Fine. I wish you actually had stuff to But anyway, that at the very least is, it does its job, I suppose, to people who are, they just want to hear announcements, like an investor or something that's just like, oh,
Right.
they've pointed out what their next thing is. Okay, big talk, move the money around. So Ryu's the wide, the buff. I always talk about how much I love that shit. I love the Akiman and Ikeno style coming in, and I love every time that like they double down on how much of a not typical, like Ryu the poster boy, the alpha years is gone forever, and he's not the anime main character kid, so that's cool. And yeah, when it comes to the detail of the RE engine and the vascularity of the muscles and all of that shit, it looks incredible, and the details look fucking, super, super good. I hope, because I was just talking about this in regards to KOF, that this does not spell out a abandonment of stylization for hyperrealism across the board, top to bottom. Because I love that Street Fighter's journey into 3D has kept the artist's interpretations as the priority over just realistic 3D. I love that. It's an identity. And even when it includes goofy shit like Ken Face and Chun-Li palms and Sakura thigh, it's a bolder artistic choice, and that I always respect. There are moments. I was leaving a space there, but
I am very worried that it is going for photorealism above all else.
the way through. I'm gonna need.
Very worried, because that was the first thing I ever heard about this game.
I don't want to see the the artists that have been around at Capcom for years and like what their designs are compromised for the reach, right? And furthermore, I don't want to see um but okay. I like the MMA inclusion and I like the
Mm-hmm.
angle. I do. It's that's totally makes sense to me of this franchise. I understand as well aesthetically trying to find an audience amongst MMA fans, right?
Yeah.
There was a commercial that played during um, a major UFC event that introduced Street Fighter as the original MMA fighter, right?
Right.
Uh, but the degree that you compromise, I suppose, what we've come to love for that redirection needs to be you got to be careful about that because Third Strike putting in a kind of hip hop, the urban flow and the design and the aesthetic kind of having this vibe to it didn't fundamentally change um, what Street Fighter was. It just kind of still was incredible sprite work doing the most beautiful shit we had seen of the franchise up to that point. Um,
Right.
but the flavor was still on top of that. I don't want the flavoring of an aim for MMA to then also go like we're looking at a UFC or an EA game for a title screen and a versus screen.
That is absolutely what this is going to be. Like the
I
whole
wonder.
front end is going to look like a sports game.
I wonder if it is. Um, I've always talked about how like some of my favorite HUDs in the KOF games have been the ones where like the HUD itself is like the TV broadcast of the King of Fighters tournament happening. That shit's
Mm.
really cool because it's like it's in media. It's a part of what we're seeing here. Um, Street Fighter becoming like a tournament in that particular way. I just I want to see the flavoring and I want to see the introduction of that angle, but not for it to completely just feel 100% like an EA MMA game, in top to bottom form, but it's got fireballs in it. I really hope we don't go that route.
I think that's what it's going to go.
Okay, we're gonna have to see more, but I'll say this: the parts of the trailer where you saw the ink lines appear,
Mm-hmm.
those freeze frames are fucking hot. First of all, especially on the Ryu one, like when you go like you freeze frame it right as like the ink is splashing over him, and it's like, oh, that's a fucking beautiful. Yeah, that's a Inoue esque like rendering of a character looking thing. It was awesome. Um, if that is kind of gonna be what it looks like when you're about to do a super, or when you're about to do anything stylish or so in the game, that'd be cool.
I think it's probably going to have the same amount of play that the Ink did in SF4.
4 and 5, yeah, yeah. 4 has more, um, but like that'd be nice to see that played with as well, to kind of just like you remember that like yeah this is Street Fighter too. It's not just um, Capcom's MMA fighter, and then of course there's gonna be the whole thing where like the bones of it you can expect, yeah, still jump over, cross up, Hadoken, Shoryu, all that shit.
Going to play like Street Fighter.
Gonna play like Street Fighter, and hopefully, it's gonna be a fucking really fun one. But um, what what we have here is something that like we're gonna need to see more. I'm gonna need to see more. Um, but the most important thing is whatever the fuck they're making, they have to make it and finish it before you launch. Do not
I
launch an incomplete product that will sully the entire game's impression on the audience because the version they buy at launch only gets better 2 years later. And nobody that bought it back then bothers to check in and like Street Fighter 5 has become a better game. Tons of people don't give a fuck. The launch was bad enough that the impression was terrible.
Dude, I played a ton of it and fell off it before it ever became the good Street Fighter V.
So please learn from that. Please, please, please. Take the time. You know, if you don't have anything to show off, you know, it is what it is. But the more important than whether or not we saw gameplay yesterday, more important than whatever our first looks are going to be of the game, and more important than, you know, the artistic direction of the game and then the UI and all that stuff is the package you released needs to be a complete one, because it's not just about the memory of launch 5 being something that a lot of people still were like down on. It's also the competition has gotten fierce, and there's a lot of amazing other fighting games out there that are not Street Fighter.
Also, like, your fighting game hitting its stride a couple of years in is a disaster. Anyone who's not really good at fighting games, because somebody tells you, "Oh, dude, Street Fighter V has really cleaned itself up. It's a really great game now," and you go, "Okay, cool." I got destroyed because people who were there when it was incomplete had 2-3 years to practice on it.
So that is something where better online systems improve it. There are big problems with towers that, like, me and a bunch of, like, towers in Guilty Gear Strive. The higher you go, the more of a problem it becomes. But for fixing what you just described, it completely does. Mm-hmm. So if beginners can have something like towers, you stop that problem from happening.
Yeah,
it's a voluntary level of opting into this much challenge and then going up a little more if you want to.
You know what would really help with that? Free to play.
It would help a lot. It would help a lot. I don't know if this is...
They won't do it.
No. If they were going to do it, I think the timeline for development might have been different. But, like, remember, 2009, 2016, 2021, right? The development time is such that it's like, it's time to cash in. We gotta make some money on this name.
Mm-hmm. It's not like the game's actually been in development forever.
Well,
that'd be crazy.
That would be insane.
If it's actually been in development for years and years and years.
God, I wish they could take the hit and just be like, fuck it, let's see how this goes, because they have the name that can do it. I really do. But yeah, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. I mean, in the same way that it's like, I'm sitting there, like, full well staring at a number that I'm waiting to turn into Street Fighter 6, and in my brain I'm like, yeah, but what if Capcom versus Capcom though? What if?
You said, boy, I was so mad when I saw that tweet, because I not only knew, but I knew that it was going to be Street Fighter 6.
And I'm just like, but what if?
And I saw you go Capcom versus Capcom, and I'm like, yeah, I want it to be that instead of what I obviously know it's going to be.
Am I allowed to engage in a little bit of magical thinking every now and then? Yes, I would like to.
I mean, I'll tell you what, well, if they ever started working on Capcom versus Capcom, you'd probably know about it like 3 years before it fucking got announced. I
would hope so.
So when you post, like, boy, I hope it's Capcom versus Capcom, everybody should take that to note. It's not Capcom versus Capcom.
No, I willfully engaged in some magical thinking. But yes, no, anyway.
Do you know what my favorite part of the announcement was?
Mm-hmm.
When they cut back to the analysts at the Capcom Cup, everybody on the stage reacting to the SF6 announcement, you got to see the whole spectrum of acting talent.
The mics were cut.
The mics were cut. But you got to see everything from like that people holding up a chair. Oh my god, to like the guy that was on the far left that was like, yeah, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No,
oh man.
we're not quite gonna get the days of the tasty Steve arm grab, right? The if you're not playing Tekken, what is wrong with you? Yeah. No, anyways, I'm I need more info, but like what's here is uh hopefully something that they're like I hope that they're like putting things out and testing the waters and feeling how people are reacting to things, because I feel that the version of Luke that dropped into 5 was also like we can change him around for 6 now. Like we can get rid of the stars on the arms, we can tweak this and do that, and you know, like I feel as if there was a costume um test thought at some point.
Yeah, you might be able to change every single part of Luke up until
So,
release.
but yeah,
From his hair to his clothes, his shoes.
mhm. If Luke is the poster boy that represents the new world of MMA, which you know, again, not everybody is excited for, and I get that. I hope that there are other genres of character that are newcomers that people would be excited for. You know, I would like to see some new characters. I'd like to see some old returning characters that have not been seen since fucking Street Fighter 1. Get some Retsu up in there. You know, if
You know what
if we can dig up Final Fight characters as well, that's
you know what's
great.
the nightmare? The fucking absolute nightmare. It's like, okay, 16 characters, your old classics. Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, Blanca, etc., right? For the first 8. And then here's the new warriors. It's Luke, the MMA man, and Joey, the MMA man, and Sarah, the MMA
MMA
lady,
girl. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Joey, the MMA guy.
That's my point. My point is like, you know, if we're bringing it in and we're steering in that direction, like you gotta still bring in the freaks, and we know that the freaks have always been strong. SF will always pick 4 freaks and drop them
Yeah.
on you, and you're gonna go, damn, these some freaks. You know, I want the white one with no mouth. You can pick the white one with the mouth and the weird limbs. No, the other white one with the mouth and the weird limbs. Okay, yeah,
That's
that
pretty
one.
vague. That's pretty vague.
And then, you know, you got your freak picks. Always pretty much a guarantee in these games.
Yeah.
Like, what happens? Because here's the thought, right? Follow the experiment through. Hyperrealism. Okay, cool. What happens when Abigail shows up?
Abigail's like 11 feet tall, right?
What happens? Do you just take Brock Lesnar and increase his fucking scale percentage? Like, what do you do? You know? I don't know. I don't know, but you can't make sense of that. So hyperrealism can only go so far with
That's not true. Go as far as they want.
Okay, so Uncanny Valley then.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
just full
Fuck
on
it.
Dalsum is a realistic old man, and you're just gonna get creeped the fuck out.
Yeah,
by those
Dalsum
arms.
just looks like the fucking bald version of the guy from the Human Guillotine, and he does all that arm shit.
Oh boy.
And on
Yeah.
and on every normal, you hear all his joints dislocate.
Also, if anyone is gonna complain or say anything fucking bullshit about Chun-Li and the size of her thighs, you need to go look at the real life versions of Chun-Li that already exist, where they're like, no, there are people that have those proportions. So Chun-Li is already real.
No, you know what they need to do, right? They need to take, like, you know, that lady who cosplayed as Chun-Li with the big thighs.
Yeah.
Just grab that slider, 70% more. Just have a head on a pair of legs.
But then they'll go find somebody who looks like that in real life too.
Willie, there's no one walking around that's a head on a pair of legs.
Not with that attitude. So yeah, more info desperately needed. At the end of the day, Capcom Street Fighter needs a win, needs a really big win because you know they're being shown up in this fighting game climate. Capcom's, you know, like 5 got to a good state after way too long. Infinite did nothing, and every time a Capcom game doesn't work out, someone else shows up and takes that spot, you know? And we've seen enough that we know that, like, Arxis and NetherRealm are willing to just hoard that shit if time will, you know, let them. So, they really, really, really need this to work the fuck out.
Yeah. And what better way to calm us down and make us all relax that it's going to be great by earlier today announcing that Yusuke Hashimoto, the person who made Bayonetta 2 play worse than Bayonetta 1, is one of the designers on Street Fighter 6.
So Hashimoto, who I believe we reported on the story, he left Platinum 3 years ago. As the designer on Street Fighter 6. That being said, I think you give Bayo 2 way more flack than it deserves. I think Bayo 2 is a fucking awesome game.
When was the last time you played it?
A while ago when I was
played it last year, and that's
Okay.
when I got my grumpy opinions on it.
But I liked it. I liked it back then too, though. Like I there's the stuff that you kind of go, these are the changes between 1 and 2 that come to mind. And when I did it back in for the early channel with Reggie and stuff, there was a like revisit of the package. But I still, you know, I get it. I still think Bayonetta 2 is a fucking cool game. Like I think the difference between like 1 being a better game versus 2 is not that controversial a statement. Though 2 being considered like not good is another extreme of that. Okay.
Well, I said it doesn't play as well because Umber and Climax is horribly overtuned.
Fair enough. The other things on Hashimoto's list include Biohazard, Biohazard 4, and God Hand to some degree. So he's worked on some stuff.
That's true.
You know, I'm not going to look at the Bayo 2 part of that as a...
Well, it's better than Ono.
End all be all. It is.
Isn't it?
It is.
He said he left Platinum 3 years ago?
I believe the story
Hashimoto?
was... Yeah, I think we ran the story 3 or 4 years ago or so.
Wow, you think he went right into working on this?
I think he went right into working on this. I think he might
Well,
have
that
been...
timing's crazy.
I think he might have been poached.
Maybe. Maybe they were like, hey, we need someone else to work on Street Fighter 6 right now.
Yeah. God. Someday. But not today.
Not today.